What if I told you that right now, at this very moment, there are worlds orbiting distant stars where oceans might be crashing against shores, where rain might be falling, where rivers might be carving through rock, and we almost missed them entirely because we were looking in the wrong places? Here's what's wild. For decades, scientists searched for life by looking for planets that looked exactly like Earth. Same size, same distance from a star, same everything, and they found almost nothing. Then someone had the audacity to ask a completely different question. What if life doesn't need a planet like Earth? What if it just needs liquid water? That one shift in thinking changed everything we thought we knew about life in the universe. Welcome to the concept that's quietly keeping thousands of astronomers awake at night, the habitable zone. The habitable zone, sometimes called the Goldilocks zone, is the region around a star where temperatures are just right, not too hot, not too cold, for liquid water to exist on a planet's surface. Now, before you say, but Earth is the only planet with water, stop right there, because that statement is already outdated. We've confirmed water ice on Mars, liquid water beneath the surface of Europa, one of Jupiter's moons, and water vapor in the atmospheres of planets light years away. Water, it turns out, is shockingly common in the universe. The question is whether it can stay liquid long enough for life to grab hold. Now here's where it gets controversial, and honestly, a little uncomfortable for some scientists. For years, the habitable zone was treated like a fixed address, a specific distance from a star. Neat, clean, easy to calculate. But here's the problem. That model assumes a planet is just sitting there passively, absorbing starlight. It ignores volcanic activity, atmospheric thickness, ocean currents, greenhouse gases, and a dozen other factors that can completely override a planet's position around its star. So a planet that technically sits inside the habitable zone might be a scorching hellscape, and a planet sitting just outside it might be quietly harboring liquid water underground. The zone is real, but it's far more complicated than a simple ring drawn around a star. Let's talk numbers, because the numbers are genuinely staggering. As of 2024, NASA's Exoplanet Archive has confirmed over 5,600 exoplanets, planets orbiting stars other than our Sun. Of those, more than 50 are considered potentially habitable, sitting within their star's habitable zone and sharing some characteristics with Earth. 50. That's not a theory. That's not science fiction. Those are real confirmed worlds detected using real telescopes. One of the most talked about is Proxima Centauri b. It orbits Proxima Centauri, the closest star to our solar system, just 4.24 light-years away. In cosmic terms, that's practically next door. It sits within its star's habitable zone and has a mass similar to Earth. But here's the controversy. Proxima Centauri is a red dwarf star, and red dwarfs are violent. They blast radiation, they flare unpredictably, and any planet orbiting close enough to be in the habitable zone is also close enough to get hammered by stellar storms. Does Proxima Centauri b have life? We genuinely do not know, but we also cannot rule it out. Then there's the TRAPPIST-1 system. This is where things get almost impossible to believe. In 2017, scientists announced the discovery of 7 Earth-sized planets orbiting a single star about 40 light-years away. 3 of those planets sit squarely within the habitable zone. 3. In one system. And in 2023, the James Webb Space Telescope began studying these planets in detail, looking for atmospheric signatures that could hint at habitability. The results so far are inconclusive, but the investigation is still ongoing. Here's the pattern interrupt nobody talks about. The habitable zone concept, as powerful as it is, was built around what we know about life on Earth. But Earth life is just one data point. One out of a potentially infinite number of possibilities. There could be organisms that use ammonia instead of water. There could be life that thrives in conditions we'd consider lethal. By focusing entirely on the Goldilocks zone, we might be accidentally filtering out the most exotic and alien forms of life in the universe. Some scientists are now arguing that we need multiple habitable zone definitions, not just one. The James Webb Space Telescope, launched in December 2021, is genuinely rewriting the textbooks. It can study exoplanet atmospheres by analyzing starlight that filters through them as a planet passes in front of its star. It's already detected carbon dioxide and water vapor in exoplanet atmospheres. Scientists are now hunting specifically for biosignatures, chemical combinations like oxygen and methane existing together, which on Earth are only maintained by living organisms. If Webb detects that combination in an exoplanet atmosphere within a habitable zone, that would be perhaps the most significant scientific discovery in all of human history. We are not waiting for that moment in some distant future. That search is happening right now, tonight, as you watch this. And here's what keeps me up at night. Statistically, given that there are an estimated 300 billion stars in the Milky Way alone, and given that most stars appear to have planets, the probability that Earth is the only world with liquid water and life becomes almost mathematically absurd. We are not searching for something that might exist. We are searching for something that almost certainly does exist. The only question left is whether we're patient enough and smart enough to find it. If this changed how you think about our place in the universe, follow this page right now, because we're just getting started on the greatest story ever told. So here's the question I'm leaving you with today. If scientists confirm tomorrow that life existed on a planet in a habitable zone just 40 light years away, would that discovery make you feel more connected to the universe or more terrified of it?